Hi everybody, welcome to the XYZ of Betting. I'm Kevin Ferguson, MoneyMan. Got Ollie Keohane, MoneyBoy and Shakes Rampedi. How are you, Shakes?
I'm good, how are you guys?
I'm good. Another week up, another week gone. Let's chat about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what in particularly what games fit into those categories for you guys. Let's start with you, Ollie. What was your good?
My good was going out for a drink and watching Aubameyang just take Leeds apart. And what I really do love about it is it's testament to, a lot of noise has been made recently about sort of longevity in sport for players. You had Dan Carter coming out and saying that, with sabbaticals and stuff, he thinks rugby players can play till 40. Tom Brady's just won, the Super Bowl at 43, wants to play till 45. And you look at Aubameyang and he played every Arsenal game, week in, week out, for essentially what's the last 2 or 3 years, Shakes? And he gets given a 3-week break for personal reasons, and he comes back and he scores a hat-trick. So I think it's just testament to player management. I think it's good for the fans to also see that, Arsenal's sort of inconsistency wasn't lying purely on the shoulders of Aubameyang as captain, and his goal scoring sort of inability for the first half of the season maybe wasn't just down to him, maybe it was down to sort of how he was being managed, where he was slotting in. And it was just cool for me to see Arsenal come in and at the start of the season stick to that kind of style that they were going for, but for that style to work.
Yeah, if there's a team though that can end your drought, it's got to be either West Bromwich Albion or Leeds. They can see goals at an alarming rate. Shakes, what was your good?
Yeah, well, first let me say Oliver's one is a good shout. I think also Arsenal needed Aubameyang to be firing, especially going into the Europa League week. So to get past Benfica, they're going to need something special, and Aubameyang that's something that is special. But my good, I can't believe it. West Ham United. I really like West Ham United this season. They won 3-0 against Sheffield United last night. And if you had told me before the start of the season, 24 games past, West Ham United will have more victories than Liverpool, will be above Liverpool, and Liverpool will be first, I would have never believed it. Yeah. And I just think they are, Liverpool is sixth. I would have never believed it. And I really think they're having a dream season, and everybody's talking about Leicester and, City and how Chelsea's just made the comeback. But West Ham are level on points with Chelsea, and they're first. And I think they're having probably the best season out of the top teams, because you never would have expected them in that position after 24 games.
No, and they didn't spend 200 million in the process to do it.
I think I saw a stats this morning that said that City is the only team since the year started that's accumulated more points in the Premier League than West Ham. I think West Ham sit on 17 or 19, and City's on 27, 23, something like that. But for West Ham to be second in terms of points accumulated this year.
So you mean this
year since the Premier League kicked off again, which is a crazy stat. I would never have said,
Yeah, look, there was something romantic about watching Moyes walk off the sidelines in yesterday's game. When you think about all he did for Everton, and then kind of ruined that reputation that took so many years to build up within 4 months of working, managing Man United. He went from hero to zero very quickly. And it can take, they say, you can take years to build up your reputation. One bad act, and it's gone. And for me, his Man United days had underdone all the good work he'd done over the years with Everton. And then to see what he's done this year with West Ham is remarkable, absolutely remarkable. And that's my good as well, is West Ham over Sheffield. I'm not going to ever say that an Arsenal over Leeds is good for me. Yeah, so mine was West Ham. Let's get into the bad. What was bad for you? I think we all might be on the same one here.
Well, actually, I think we might be all on the same ugly. I don't know about the bad. So not to discredit Fulham, but we've spoken often this season about Everton being a good side with good players that then just drops points that they should not be dropping. Kind of pulls off, a 94th minute draw against United at Old Trafford after getting dominated for most of the game. And then at Goodison Park, where they haven't lost in 22 games against Fulham, have never lost in the Premier League competition as long as it's been known the Premier League, Fulham come and take 3 points from them with 2 goals. You know, like what?
That could also fit into the ugly as well.
I mean,
if you're an Everton fan. But yeah, okay.
I think that's bad for me, because that represents every punter this year that's gone and done his research and gone, wow, you know, longest streak. Someone hasn't won here in 22 games. You know, it must be Everton. And then they get bashed 2-0. So
yeah, that was bad. Huh? Shakes, what's your bad?
Yeah, no, that's a pretty good shout, but I think I'm gonna top this one, Oliver, and say Manchester United, guys. I mean, you got a chance to grab 3 points to close the gap on Manchester City. You have to go to West Brom. And the funny thing about it is Harry Maguire comes out after the game and says, you're not going to come to the stadium and create a lot of chances. I don't know if you've seen that Leeds United beat them 5, Arsenal beat them 4, City beat them 5. So I don't know what is he talking about when he says,
I think he's just quoting from a rhetorical playbook. You know, when players speak, not many of them speak with passion and any sort of sense of authenticity anymore.
Look, it's back to the drawing board.
Yeah, it was a game of 2 halves. You know, we really tried hard out there.
Boys are gutted.
Boys are gutted. I mean, I wish that some players would stop, grow a pair of balls, and just say what's on their mind. You know.
Yeah.
We were fucking useless today. would be a good place to start. And
by the way, he had a shocking performance individually as well. Yeah. So I just think if United, they just keep showing that they were just never ready for the title ever. And
well, Solskjaer's done this before, hasn't he? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's done it before, where he takes you up if you're a Man United fan. I wouldn't be as lowly as a Man United fan. But it takes you up to that level, and it's like a roller coaster, brings you straight back down. And I got a feeling that this is the downward part of that roller coaster. Because I have to agree with you, Shakes. 1-1 for Man United, to me, was the bad of the week. Should have been 3 points. Everybody scores at West Bromwich Albion. I mean, everybody. You know. And how many goals have they conceded this year? 52. And he says they don't give up many up. You're not going to come here and get many opportunities. You're not going to go there and not get many opportunities not to score, is what he should have said.
Exactly. But we managed that. So.
Yeah. So that was my bad. Yeah, that was my bad. Ugly?
Ugly for me was sitting down to watch the Liverpool game with one of my best mates, who's been an avid Liverpool supporter since he was born. Went to Anfield with his dad and everything, and just very much started educating me about soccer and about Liverpool. And it was the first chance we had actually got to watch a Liverpool game together in a while, and sat down and kind of watched it unfold. Went to the bathroom, came back, and it was 3-1.
That was a long bathroom visit,
What was? I was showering.
They scored in the 7th. Okay, it was
I was showering, but yeah. I mean, it was just a very clear. I think again, you're starting Ozan Kabak. I mean, Klopp really didn't have much of a choice but to kind of thrust him in. But that goal was very clear. Just that second goal when Alisson came out, clear miscommunication between defense and goalkeeper, lack of communication. No one runs backwards as a defender. That's what he was doing. They're completely, and Alisson is given all the credit and is brilliant when those things come off. And boom, here he is running up and bashing it up. But it's a bit embarrassing when he doesn't and they walk a goal in like that.
Yeah.
And, what was definitive for me was the Liverpool of last year. There was the potential for them to make that mistake, but then there was the feeling that they wouldn't let themselves lose 2-0. Regardless, not 2-1, not even 3-1, they would have kind of come back and been, we need to equalize. And there's just, for me, there's not that fight or that sense of self-belief in Liverpool. And, we spoke at the start of the season, like Liverpool doing what champions do. They're not champions this season. They're not doing what champions do. And, a lot of factors contributing to that. But the reality is there's not that same culture and belief there.
Well, I think there's a decent culture there. I just think that, in fairness to Klopp, he's had 17 players out this year at various times. Probably lost more man games over the season than any other manager. They're a team run well by owners from Boston who a lot of their revenue comes from stands. So you don't have any people in the stands buying tickets in Liverpool, and you don't have over 81 home games, anybody in Boston buying home tickets to that game. And those stadiums sell out almost every game. 81,000 times 40,000 is a lot of money not being able to go into Liverpool. So you've got all these people saying buy. Buy what? I mean,
Yeah.
it's like they've just built the stadium, or they just, they renovated the stadium, or spent a lot of money on it. They're not getting any ticket. They're not getting any revenue from ticket sales. So they were never going to go out and spend a lot of money on that squad. And unfortunately for them, they've had the most injuries of any team. And so they're a team that's not playing with confidence. And my ugly too was again watching Liverpool blow 1-0 lead, and just a team so devoid of confidence, it's scary.
Yeah.
The only way to get confidence back is by having a run of good results. So for me, that was the ugly as well.
Yeah, it's one of those things that sounds so cliche, but the only way to develop a winning culture and habit again is to start winning again. There's no kind of two ways around it.
Yeah. Shakes, what's your ugly?
Yeah, no, you guys obviously hit a nail on the head with regards to Liverpool and the performance. I know they've had injuries and it's not been in their favor, but still, man, I think they should have been able to keep that lead against Leicester. They played so well, but for some reason it's just not coming together. And I think they're on the course to be the worst champions. Imagine finishing 99 points and then out of top 4 the following season. But that was not my ugly. My ugly was from last night. Chelsea against Newcastle, first half. Newcastle were dreadful. Very dreadful. No, like they were so negative, so pessimistic, so dull, so...
Well, they were typical Newcastle, weren't they?
Sorry?
Typical Newcastle, really.
Yeah, no, look, they've performed badly this season, and there's been a lot of complaints from the Newcastle fans, but yesterday was... Kepa could have gone to the bathroom and back. That's how negative they were last night. They were not showing... Second half, they improved, but that's only because Chelsea sort of had the game won and they were managing the game. But first half was one of the worst performances I've seen this Premier League season. And Newcastle is tops it.
What's crazy for me is like with Chelsea though, is you look at with Frank Lampard, every week there was noise around Chelsea. Like, is this the week that the team's gelling? Okay, now they're gelling, now they're not. What's going on? Thomas Tuchel's come in, and in the last 5 games he's won 4 and drawn 1. And there's very little noise about Chelsea, but they're just slowly knocking their way back up, And it's funny for me how in soccer, especially as an industry, like success really isn't celebrated or as made as much of a noise about as when there's evident like lack of success. And I guess you could say that's down to the budgets these guys have and what they're spending, what the expectations are. But he's kind of, Chelsea strikes me now as that like Leicester-ish under the radar. All of a sudden you find them second, Yeah,
no, look, since he's taken over, I think he's got 13 out of 15 points.
Yeah.
You can't fault that. And certainly trending in the right direction. Still, I'm amazed that Manchester United is still second. I think they're going to drop like a stone.
I'm saying it, but it's going to come. They're just going to eventually.
Yeah, and without doubt, the worst team in the Premier League over the last 5 games has been Southampton.
Yeah, but again, just testament to the season is Southampton were putting in some crazy results at the start of the season,
Yeah. Well, Liverpool were first, Chelsea were first, Everton were number 1. It's been a good...
Leeds won at one stage.
Okay.
Second game.
They didn't mind it well. I think they were in the... No, we lost our first game to top. Yeah, we got to top 4.
Guys, don't forget Tottenham. Tottenham were first.
Yes, that's right. But if you'd have told me that Leeds would be in 11th place at this juncture of the season, I would have been happy, and they've played, for me, they've played such entertaining football, 40 goals for, 42 against, something to build on for next season. So I'm enjoying being a Leeds fan, So that's our interesting, who's going to be the next manager sacked in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. If I had to nominate a manager to be sacked next. Well, it's kind of hard to pick. But the Southampton guy, I mean, guys, talk about a fall from grace for Hassan Hutu and Southampton. At some point, they were flirting with Europe and flirting with top four, and now it's just losses in a row and loss after loss after loss. I can't believe what I'm seeing.
I thought Danny Ings coming back would be like, I mean, he was out for a while. We kept saying in shows, is Danny Ings back? Okay, cool, bet on him when he's back. And he's come back and they've just gotten worse and worse. So yeah, I mean, he's probably, if you just think that the sacking of football managers is purely based on results, and if you look purely at results, Southampton, logic says that it's him next.
Yeah.
Do you have a spanner to throw into the works there, though? Are you thinking maybe the Wolves coach or something?
No. I mean, I suppose it would be the Southampton coach as well, if the smart money, but it's not. Or maybe Sam Allardyce should be sacked for the lack of the Great Escape.
Yeah, I mean, I heard one of the commentators say that he's the first team. It's the West Brom is the first team that he's come in and hasn't improved their defensive record.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a tough defensive record to improve.
No, it wasn't. Hey? Okay, well, there you have it. Thanks, guys, for input, and we'll be doing a predictive video again this week.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thanks guys.
Cheers, Shakes.